Our rascal does not dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, an amazing anime about a tsundere male saving the waifu of the week from whatever social or mental problem they face. Hold up, what do you mean this isn't what we're talking about today? Oh god. Yes, we're talking about the Monogatari series today, and I'm expecting this video to potentially get dislike bombs since one of its seasons is literally number 32 on the top ranking animes of my anime list. Before I begin, I'm just letting you know that first I'm going to be going over my thoughts on each of the seasons that I have seen and then go over general thoughts on the anime and my review of it. Just a fair warning, it's been over 6 months since I saw it, so my memory of it is kind of foggy. Bakemonogatari was my introduction to the series, so this basically set the bar for this whole series. Overall, I would say that this season was probably my favorite out of the entire series, which is not a good sign based off of how I gave this season a 7. I really don't have much to say about this season since most of my issues with this season will be placed under the general comments. Nekomonogatari, the season which I believe to be the most unnecessary. This season is considered to be a prequel to Bakemonogatari, which focuses on Tsubasa and Koyomi. The reason why I believe this season was kind of pointless was because the plots explored within this season were already spoken about within the original series, so you really don't gain anything from this series. On the other hand, it could have been a good place to start, if and only if they actually do proper character introductions in this season. Keeping all of this in mind along with the general issues with all of the seasons, Nekomonogatari only got a 5 out of me. The time I began to hate the series was when I watched Nisemonogatari. This season seems to have a huge focus on incest. Like, come on dude, we all know that it's wrong, right? Anyways, the waifus of the week for this season was both of his sisters. This could have been executed well if they made him seem like a protective older brother, but instead they did this.
さっさと音を上げた方が楽になれるぜ、カレンちゃん。いや、楽じゃなくなれるぜ。
やべえ、喘ぎ声にも似た彼の声を聞いてるとすげえ変な気持ちになる。ドキドキする。
Like dude, this is so messed up and weird. Another issue I had out of this season was that out of the entire anime, this season was the most forgetful. The music was forgetful, the story was forgetful, and the world building was forgetful. Everything considered, Nisemonogatari only managed to pull a 4 out of me. I really have to talk about it, don't I? Monogatari series' second season was probably one of the worst things I ever seen. I have only seen 3 of the character arcs, but I hated all of them. This was the season when I realized that no matter what happens with all of the characters, they would just keep on recycling the same ideas with each girl. This season had an arc about Tsubasa, and for the 3rd time they had to kill a white tiger. This wasn't the main reason for the plot, but rather how they decided to have something introduced like her hair being permanently changed, but having her dye it every day so she would look no different. Why introduce something like this if they're just going to back out of it literally seconds later? This made the entire season seem like the writers really didn't feel confident enough with their ideas to make a permanent change. I really couldn't handle this season, which got me to the point where I dropped this series, putting this season in my personal hall of shame. All in all, this season pulled a 1 out of me, and if I could, I would give it a 0. Now that you know my thoughts on each season, let's go over those general comments I was talking about which managed to drop the score of each season. Let's begin with talking about the poses people take when talking, like why are they like this? It's not like in a normal conversation you would randomly lean basically upside down while remaining eye contact. Actually, now that I said eye contact, it's probably better that you don't do that, because the eyes in this anime are super creepy. Anyone who has seen my Clash of the Anime series knows how much I like eyes, so when the eyes are creepy like that, it brings the quality down for me. Like dude, why did they include those pink thingies? I know I mentioned the waifu of the week thing, but what about ways to kill the lead of the week? Because my god, they also seem to try to find a way to basically kill him off in every arc. I think they only gave him his vampire powers just to do this because he doesn't seem to use it in any other way. Finally, one of the most important issues with this series is the emptiness of this world. Like, why are there only important characters in this anime? The school has no teachers or students and there are no people in the city. I recall that there was this one scene where the protagonist and one of the girls were at this convenience store and there was nobody working there. Doesn't that make it seem like they are stealing? This is how the empty world could negatively affect the series as a whole. Now that we talked about all the issues with the anime, let's talk about the general review of the anime. For this episode I'm going to introduce something I never talked about before, the audience of this anime. My reason for this was because, a couple of months ago, I pointed out some flaws with this anime and I remember that they responded with, well, I guess you're not a fan of witty dialogue. Yeah dude, I must hate this anime because of witty dialogue and nothing else. My understanding from this is that most fans of this series cannot take criticism and instantly resort to the witty dialogue excuse. Next we'll talk about the animation. As I mentioned, eyes are one of my favorite parts of anime, and the eyes in the
Hey, so it looks like there was no mention of the lazy backgrounds in the script, but on screen are some examples.
As for music, we all know Renai Circulation by now, but one song really isn't enough for the countless other forgetful songs, so the music really isn't that great inside of this series. Finally, let's talk about the story of this anime. The first season had an okay plotline, but after that, it just gets worse and worse.
The script missed the part where there are cards which appear during dialogue, which ruins the flow of it. You probably saw some already inside of this video.
Considering all of these problems, I would rate the entire series a 2/10. All in all, I would say don't let a popular opening clickbait you into watching an entire overrated series. While I may not like it, I still respect the opinions of those who do like it, so please respect mine too. That's all I have to say for the Monogatari series. Until next time, bye. 秘密秘密あのね秘密